Hi everyone, we're back, me and Ben today. We were here with you yesterday. Today we've had the first two free practice sessions, and as ever with F1, stuff around what's been happening on the track has caught the eye as well.
Yep.
Ben, I think Toto Wolff did a session with the Dutch journalists that are here, and a few interesting bits came out of that, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one to kick off the Dutch Grand Prix, wasn't it? The weather this morning was very windy and very wet, and we were worried about whether we'd get any running in. Well, we did. But yes, Toto did do a session with the Dutch journalists. Quite a lot to sift out of that. I think for me the biggest thing was him still talking about Max Verstappen, and potentially signing Max Verstappen for 2025. Yes, that hasn't gone away. Or has it? It was quite interesting the fact that he revealed that he was still talking to Max's dad and his manager. He's definitely keen to sign him. He's obviously missed out the chance once before when Max obviously went to Red Bull initially. So quite keen to resurrect that mistake, quite keen to make amends for that mistake. And obviously, if there's half a chance of signing Max Verstappen, he's going to give it a go. But the other part of the story is the fact that he kind of almost let the cat out of the bag.
Well, you mentioned there about correcting a mistake, and he had to do that again today, didn't he? Because he let it slip. He let the name Kimi slip, didn't he? In terms of Kimi Antonelli, was suggestion obviously that he is going to be announced at some point as Mercedes driver alongside George Russell next year.
Yeah.
He was quick to clarify that was a slip of the tongue, but it didn't stop reporters reporting what he said, which I think is fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's shaping up. There's very few other drivers now available. Carlos Sainz obviously going to Williams was an option, or not, because Mercedes had always said that they weren't interested in signing him. So it looks like it's going to be Kimi Antonelli for next year, which is an exciting prospect, I think. They obviously have a lot of faith in him. They know him so well with all the testing that he's doing and all the simulator work. So big shoes to fill, though, aren't they? Lewis Hamilton's.
Yeah, I wouldn't fancy it. But one seat that has been filled for next year. Talk us about Alpine.
Yeah. Doohan's in there, which is I think that's quite a good fit for Alpine. He's obviously got links with Flavio Briatore, and so that's an understandable appointment, shall we say. Very quick, very likeable. I think that's quite a good move for them.
Those seats are closing up now, aren't they? We had a bit of, obviously this year we had a stalemate with seats for the first time ever.
Yeah.
But now there's only a few left. Hopefully in the next few weeks we'll know what it's going to look like.
Yeah, it's quite nice to see the rookies coming through as well. I always think that you need fresh blood, and it did seem like with everything staying as it was, for this season with no fresh faces coming in, that was a little bit of a shame. So now it looks like we're going to have some good talent coming in, which is exciting for Formula One.
Formula One being Formula One, there's always one of those stories you don't expect of a weekend.
Yeah.
This morning we all arrived to the news that the Dutch bailiffs were knocking on Haas's door.
Yeah.
I think the ins and outs of this story, it's quite murky. It's quite he said, she said. But basically, their Russian sponsor that they cut the links with after the invasion of Ukraine, a Swiss court determined that some of the sponsorship money that had been paid to Haas had to go back, which I think is fair enough.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone back. So today they turned up with the Dutch court order to basically almost impound the cars. They're allowed to race at the Grand Prix, but as things stand at the moment, they then can't take any of their equipment or cars out of the Netherlands and head to Monza. So it's one that needs sorting out. You imagine it will get sorted out, but it's playing out in public, which Haas won't like it.
No, and also logistically it's very tricky as well. This is a back-to-back race. You mentioned Italian Grand Prix next week, so logistics is key. We need everything packed up on Sunday after the race and obviously sent to Monza. So any delay in that happening could have big ramifications for the next race. We've seen it before with it was Lotus, and I think at the at the Belgium Grand Prix, good few years ago. But of course, the cars were there for a good couple of days, and I know that did have a knock-on effect, and stuff arrived late, and it's just a spanner in the works that they could do without. Haas have made really good progress this year on track, and this is the first big test, and it's coming in the form of a legal complication.
Yeah, it seems performative to me. I think it'll all be fine and played out, and it's just clearly a way of that they've determined is the next way of getting further down the line with it. But on track, we saw a lot more action than we thought we were going to see.
We did, yeah. I mean, when we arrived, it was very wet and windy. I didn't think many people were going out, but this morning's session was fairly mixed. Afternoon was also mixed. I mean, I think that what we can say is that Red Bull aren't clear McLaren look quick, Mercedes look quick. We just don't know how quick.
Yeah.
Conditions were tricky with the wind. So I think it's all delicately poised, nicely set up for tomorrow qualifying. But the reality is, I don't think we really fully understand yet just how quick each car is.
Absolutely. I mean, I think every compound was probably used at some point during today, wasn't it? But we look at those results. Lando was quickest this morning.
Yeah.
Changeable conditions, as we said, but that could be what we see tomorrow as well. So that is actually a more important figure than you might think that time that he said, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And obviously George topping FP2 as well. So, you've got two different drivers, two different cars. And I think that is what's quite nice at the top. You've got Mercedes and you've got Red Bull. You've also got the McLarens. And I think you could have Ferrari in the mix come Sunday as well. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm super excited for this weekend's race.
We said yesterday, Lando, the best thing he could do this weekend was beat Max.
Yeah.
Not necessarily take the checker flag, but beat Max. And what he's done today, hopefully, that's for him, that's the start of that process.
Yeah, I mean, it's all starting with a positive mind, isn't it? And just keeping it going and building over the weekend. And I think Max was a little bit frustrated today with the fact that he wasn't topping both sessions, and there's still plenty of work to be done there. We also need to probably mention his teammate as well, Sergio Perez. Didn't have a very good day, did he?
A couple of offs, didn't he?
Yeah, and not particularly quick. So, but like I say, we can't read too much into it, and obviously no points today anyway. So, let's see what happens tomorrow.